This here is from X. It's from Tom Latcham, who's following Dan Wootton, who you might know wrote some bad things about Johnny in The Sun, but now Dan's got allegations out against him. It's funny because he wrote false allegations against Johnny. But not only that, Dan's been let go from the Mail Online from a pretty lucrative contract. Also, GB News suspended him, which we'll get into, I guess. Maybe an update on that. But also, he's going to be investigated by the UK Metropolitan Police. Quick shout to Come Geek Some. He covered this. It was a good find. Alright, so Tom Latchin, who got almost 450,000 views in his tweet, says, exclusive, Dan Wootton's departure from GB News has been held up by legal matters. According to sources by Byline Times can confirm, the journalist has put his house on the market with plans to move to Scotland, suggesting he has accepted he will be axed from the channel. Okay, well, there's the update. He'll probably be axed from GB News. I was calling his suspension probably permanent. We weren't totally sure, but according to this, it could be. Now, obviously, as we know, this reminds us of somebody else who moved to Spain when some certain things hit the fan with a certain trial and things like that. And you could say, since Dan is planning to move to Scotland, that also confirms a lot of stuff's going down in the UK that's not so good for Dan. I mean, if it wasn't true, if the stuff wasn't going down, why would he move? It makes sense that he probably would want to. Let's see what some people are saying. Do these people who follow Tom like Dan? Are they fans of Dan? Well, you probably know the answer. Why am I even asking? This person says, free Scotland. They didn't do anything to deserve this. A curious move, says GB News Spin Room. So, you got some people who are Johnny fans, but also some people who don't like GB News so much who don't like Dan. And then just some people who found out about it. And to them, probably Dan's not super likable. Nope, Danny boy, I mean, how long do you think you'll last among Scots? Things happen fast. Another bites the dust, FOFA. Dan Wootton in Scotland? Not a good idea. We're a bunch of leftists who hate the ground he walks on. Well, yeah, I hear Scotland has a lot of policies leaning pretty far left these days, but that's not for this channel. However, let's note, Dan claims he's right. I say that because he was left, then he was right, blah 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 blah, who knows, to be for sure. Ran off just like Herd to Spain. Yep, that's what I was thinking. Thoughts and prayers to the people of Scotland. Jesus, from GB News to Unwanted Immigrant in Scotland, what a wonderful irony. Alright, that is pretty funny. Wish was New Zealand, but not before he's dealt with the allegations and cleared his name or faced justice. Yeah, I don't think he's going to clear his name. Seems like they've got some good evidence. Hasn't gone to court yet, so I'm not going to say guilty until he gets a fair chance, but my gut feeling tells me, look at that evidence. Scotland has a notably more progressive population on the whole. I hope that he will not be welcomed. Sorry, but can someone tell Dan that Scotland is not a haven for our words? Which Dan isn't being accused of, but, you know, he did trick people into doing things involving that act, allegedly. I feel sorry for Scotland. Well, it's getting repetitive. I think you get the idea, but they're still pretty fun, actually, to read. Anyone talking to him, tell him not to bother. We don't want him. We don't want him in Scotland. They need to be aware of anyone called Martin McBranning. Ha ha. Scotland does not deserve this. So as you can see, quite a few comments have shifted the focus to the news of him moving to we don't want him. But the real news was supposed to be of him moving. I'll admit, there's not too much tangible to talk about, so it's a little bit more interesting about how the people of Scotland feel about Dan. Anyway, you let me know what you think down below. And if you're not subscribed here, consider it. If you don't, I'll be sad, but I'll get over it. See you next time.